Hey, welcome back to Second Thoughts. I'm your host, Hunter Reusche.
And I'm your host, Ivan Ramos.
And I'm Chandler.
And today we're here to talk about stereotypes.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, so let me start off with this. The Honor Code by David Brooks, published by the New York Times on July 5th, 2012.
Ooh, fancy.
Not to be confused with any other year.
Or any other David Brooks.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so
Honor Code.
In the Honor Code, David
New York
Brooks
Times.
references Shakespeare, or how we like to call him, Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
Love Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
So he references Henry V, which, I mean, I like Shakespeare, but I don't Shakespeare. But but I don't know too much about Henry V. I'm assuming he did great things because literally in this first paragraph, he's like, he was a rambunctious when young and courageous when older. I'm like, okay. So I'm assuming he's some sort of Shakespearean hero.
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Shakespeare.
But, so anyway, so this article goes on to say, like, what if Henry V would have been in our schooling system today and how he would have turned out. Like, he wouldn't have been a courageous leader when he was older, you know? He'd be... Well, let me just get into it.
Go ahead.
So I have a quote here. It says... Yeah. So by about the third week of nursery school, Henry's teacher would be sending notes home saying that Henry had another hard day today. You know, he was disruptive during circle time. By mid-year, there'd be a sly little hint dropped that maybe Henry's parents should think about medication for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Many of the other boys are on it, and they find school much easier. So let me get into that first. Why? You know?
Yeah, that's the thing I thought with like the school system. They really shut out, and it's kind of why by me saying like stereotype. The way we're going into this is through an actual. Let me actually pull that up, because we had to address a prompt for Miss Bealey and Miss Floyd. This is also for school.
Yeah, another school one.
Another school thing. Two birds with
one stone.
one stone.
At least two birds.
One stone with two birds.
You can get like a feast out of that.
Yeah.
So
Depends what kind of bird.
One of the quotes / question kind of thing we're tackling with this is this quote by Audre Lorde, and she says, "What are the tyrannies you swallow day by day and attempt to make your own until you will sicken and die of them, still in silence?" Which we think is really deep. And the way we looked at it is through stereotypes people are put into, and as a result, not able to flourish with their creativity and their imagination of mind.
Yeah.
No matter from a kid like Henry V, who could have been labeled as having ADHD, but being a brilliant person, to anybody like that has some problems, you know, maybe OCD or any of that kind of stuff, and they are labeled as someone that cannot be as great as someone else.
Yeah,
you know?
basically, the school system, but also in a broader term, society, puts us in a box. You know, like just right out of the womb. We're already put in a box, you know.
Out the womb.
out the
womb into a box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, it's not like how you see on television. They put you in a box immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of I thought of that book that Miss Swift has about the box. I don't know if she's shown you guys.
Probably not, no.
About
Not that I recall, at least.
kids who try to do different things, try to be out of the box, really. And they get put into a big old box. It's a room where they can do whatever, but they don't affect the outside world with their shenanigans.
Wow, that's an interesting...
Yeah. It's written like a child's book,
Ooh.
but it's more deep in meaning, you know.
Cool.
That sucks.
I'd like to... Miss
No,
Floyd,
no,
I'm going to
sounds
ask
like
you
a
about
great
that.
book.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Floyd?
Yeah.
It was Miss Swift's book.
Oh, Miss Swift, never mind.
Yeah.
Miss Swift, I'm going to ask you about that. You're
I
probably
mean,
not
ask Miss
listening.
Floyd
Yeah, I
about
mean,
it,
you could
guess.
ask her about it.
Yeah.
She'll probably be like...
Yeah, I'll talk to her about it, because that sounds interesting, and I want to look into that.
Yeah. But the way that ties into back to where we were getting with stereotypes, I guess you can continue reading.
Yeah. But, okay, so basically the result of Henry being in our school system would be... Oh, yeah. So eventually he'd exile himself into a lewd and unsupervised laddie subculture. He'd have vague, high ambitions, but no realistic way to realize them. Day to day, he'd look completely adrift. Which, I mean, that's the end game for him. Like, if he were in our American school system today, he wouldn't be, I'm assuming, how great he was in Shakespeare. Yeah, like he'd just be kind of a, not necessarily a mindless drone, but we'd see him as just a rebellious young adult.
Yeah, like as the writing task states early on, the official school culture was uber nurturing. He would become uber crude. He'd rebel because of a society that wanted to have perfect square people. They didn't want any, like, you had to follow the rules, you have to do all this kinds of shenanigans, and you had to do it this way, and that's the only correct way to do it.
Yeah. So basically, in like paragraph 6 of the honor code, it says, like, this is roughly what's happening in schools across the Western world. The education system has become, culturally cohesive, rewarding and encouraging a certain sort of person. One who is nurturing, collaborative, disciplined, neat, studious, industrious, and ambitious. People who don't fit this cultural ideal respond by disengaging and rebelling.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know why I had trouble with that.
No, we just started laughing because me and Chandler started staring at each other back and forth, but not really.
Yeah.
I'd glance over at him and he'd be like...
Then I'd look at him and he'd look away. And just went back and forth.
But we were paying attention, yes.
Yeah, great.
For the most part.
Yeah.
And stories like that sadden me,
Yeah. But like it's like back to what you were saying, like the school system produces a certain sort of person, you know? And people who don't fit that, persona get screwed over.
I mean, even look at someone like Einstein, Like Einstein had autism. He was to a point he was autistic, and he's known to this day as one of the greatest minds ever. Period. And to achieve that such a level and to be labeled under something that the society looks down upon, is crazy.
Like why don't we condone that kind of behavior?
Exactly.
Like sure, we may be like rowdy and rambunctious when we're young, but those rowdy and rambunctious people could be some of the greatest raw potential that could drive our society into into like a greater place.
And you look at places like Switzerland and Finland.
Oh,
and India. What?
No, continue. Finish your thing, and then
like you look at their school systems and they're becoming brilliant.
So
just flourishing.
Yeah. So with Switzerland, that whole, and then I think sorry, my bad. But we can get into the Princier thing with this too,
or with the Einstein.
Yeah.
So,
but with Switzerland, like let me get this out. It's just because
go.
Switzerland's like school system is so different from ours. Like they focus more less on competition and more on collaboration. And
like a Finland thing.
Yeah, because of that, their education system is like the number 1 in the world currently, right? So
it's not Switzerland, it's Finland.
Oh, Finland, my bad. Yeah, sorry.
Switzerland's good too.
Yeah, but like
sorry, Finland.
Yeah, but like, shouldn't we be taking note? If someone has obviously figured out a better system, why haven't we tried copying that? Like if there's obviously a better way to do things, why don't we follow that?
Do it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's
like
just
we could be so much better.
Yeah, it's just like what Michio Kaku was saying. I'm totally butchering that.
It's
most
something
likely.
like that.
Yeah.
Not too far.
He's a brilliant scientist and a brilliant futurist. He's also known as, and he truly just hates this U.S. school system. He goes through it and he has all these reasonings, and one of them mainly is a result of why is there so much success science and innovation in America, and it's because of the immigration of people coming to America for these kinds of things. A lot of them actually are stated out of have come from other places around the world to the Silicon Valley and to Google and to
and then after they've learned what they need to, they go back to where they came from.
Now they're starting to go back, and that's why certain things are popping up, like in India and in not Japan. Japan, yeah, sure, Japan. Just different in China.
Yeah, China.
Like new Silicon Valleys are popping up, and people are being so
like how is
dumbfounded. They're like, why? Why? It's because that's where they came from.
Yeah.
You know, it's because they've improved their school systems to not be like ours.
Mm-hmm.
Ours have not changed in over
like
100 years. Yeah. That definitely leads into our Princier.
Yeah. So you want to...
Mr. Princier, once again, back on the floor.
Yes, because we love him. He's awesome.
Yeah.
So...
you don't want to put him on the floor, though.
We were looking at, for our second article, also a speech, I would say, or poetry, is his... titled, I just schooled the...
Nope. I just sued the school system.
I almost just said, I just schooled the SU system.
Good job.
3 exclamation points.
So, tying into a lot of this, for instance, we talked about Albert Einstein earlier. He starts off with a quote, which is, everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Which that will easily tie into Henry V, tie into himself of being Einstein, you know. You can't look at everything from one perspective and judge it that way. You know, just as you can't look at one side of an argument and just be like, that's the only way.
Yeah, for an argument, you got to find like every single like way that there is to something, because everything's about perspective. It's always about perspective.
And like for me, I personally very dislike the most common form of arguing, which is to argue to prove your point. That's stupid. You will not get anything done. It's very ill productive, and you will move nowhere. I like to be in I don't like to be in arguments. I like to resolve things. That is what I shoot for. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I want to sometime in my life go into politics, because I want to resolve things, because I hate having issues that people think they're right all the time, because nobody is right all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
I enjoy compromises.
Exactly.
Compromise where you can, and where you can't, don't.
And so taking the perspective of where Einstein is showing that everyone is smart in their own way, you know? To be able to flourish in their own creativity through their mind is a beautiful thing. Like Einstein's main thing was use your imagination. Like that was his main thing, you know?
Yeah, we got that quote from Einstein like painted on some wall at school, which like in bowlers, like whenever she'd have the door open, I got like a straight shot to that, and I just wrote it down on one of my notebooks. I just liked it a lot.
What is it?
I think it's like I don't know, something about imagination, but I can't remember.
Yeah, that's all I can
remember. Yeah, that's all. It was just a picture of his head, and then
creativity is key or something like that.
No, it was like something. It said imagination in there.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's funny that you were talking about like the varying like minds of everyone, you know, because everyone's got like their own thing. Because I was talking to Miss Floyd about it today. We were just, because like she called us over and we were just talking about like the basically the topics of everything. And I was like, why, like back to the school system thing, why are we producing the same kind of person when everyone is different, you know, like everyone's got their own perspective. Exactly. You know, so everyone's got different views and different ideas of how to do just one thing.
Exactly. And just to give some background on this, the speech, I'm just calling it a speech, the YouTube video itself, if you have not watched it, which I know Miss Bealey listened to this primarily more than just watched the videos, which at first we thought that was weird at first before we were done recording that one time, because we were like, oh, you're gonna have to, we keep like hinting back to the YouTube video, but then listen to it on ourselves, like on our own, and just as a group after the recording, we're like, you can easily just listen.
You still get the message and everything that we're saying.
But I'll describe what the video is. Basically, it starts with being set up as them in court, as really it says in the title that Princier is suing the school system for not for being responsible for the murder of creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it says, I call the school to the sand and accuse him of killing creativity, individuality, and being inequality abusive. unequally abusive. His ancient institution has outlived his usage. Wow, that's pretty. But it made sense. And so that's the gist of this, you know.
We're using genius.com again.
Yeah.
But I want to ask, why was 10, just the number 10 in the past and up? Why is 10 highlighted? What's that going to say? 10.
Thanks,
Okay.
Genius.
All right.
This annotation is what? No, go back. This annotation is unreviewed.
Unreviewed.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. The number 10 just
10.
translates to the word 10.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Jeez. Diving into genius. All right.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, leading into how we keep hinting back to our education system in the United States not really changing for another 100 years. He hints to this as well through showing a diagram in the video. Starting off, I believe. He starts off with a modern day phone,
Right.
and he's like, "You recognize it?" And he's like, "Here's one from 150 years ago. Big difference." Then he goes to a car, and then he shows a car 150 years ago.
Big difference.
Yeah, and then he shows a picture of a classroom, modern day, and then he goes 150 years ago, flips it up. It's about practically the same exact thing, which shows we need to change. We need to go with the flow through time, you know?
Yeah, we need to up the ante on our school systems.
Exactly.
In literally over a century, nothing has changed.
Yeah, and it's sad. And how I love this, how this I never really realized until I started talking about it, is that our school system is set up for the people who go to our school to work in factories.
Yeah.
That's how it's set up.
Yeah, I never really thought about that.
Which is so mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at it...
Do you want to just read that?
Yeah, I'll read it. I did a background check on you, and the records show that you were made to trade people to work in factories, which explains why you put students in straight rows, nice and neat. Raise your hand if you want to speak. Give them a short break to eat, and for 8 hours a day, tell him what to think.
Wow.
And then it goes, and make the complete
make them compete.
Make them compete to get an A. Okay. And make them to compete to get an A, a letter that determines a product of quality. Hint: grade A of meat. It's like, whoa,
Yeah,
that's totally true.
I was like, wow, we're competing to be the best meat.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Yeah,
Great way to look at it.
That's exactly what a factory worker does.
Yeah.
You know? Which, I mean, if you want to do that, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No one's stopping you.
We're not putting down factory workers.
Yeah,
I mean,
but like at the same time, like we shouldn't all be trained to be factory workers.
exactly.
Because I mean, I think later on or before this, he says that we're in an age that we do need creative thinkers and imagination and all that stuff because we need innovation, you know. Because well, I mean, this is just my personal belief too.
We don't need to make robot zombies.
There you go. But like, this is just what I think about how we're like the way we're living today is that, you know, we do have like, you know, we get an upgrade for phones and stuff every like 2 years or whatever, every year. But like, you know, that Apple comes out with a new iPhone, but you know, it's somewhat better than the last one. No, it's definitely better than the last one. But there's always something different, you know, and like, yeah, we keep on making more innovations within these phones. But do you see like any big innovations between like anything else, you know? Like I feel like in society now we're coming to a halt of innovation, you know, and we're just focusing on distracting ourselves. You know, so then we don't focus on what the actual problems that are at hand and then we never get to resolve anything. So then I feel like we're just going to be stuck eternally in this state of constant procrastination.
That's why I'm always so into anyone who's doing something different.
Yeah.
Who's engineering something that has never existed before.
Exactly.
Because new and different is the future.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we were supposed to get hoverboards in 2015.
Yeah. 2
What
years
happened?
ago.
Those people you appreciate are challenging the tyrannies they swallow day by day in an attempt to make their own.
Hey.
Yeah. Way to loop it back around.
There we go.
Good job.
Woo!
I would have never thought of that. Good job.
I was like, I need to loop this around. Where should I do this? Oh, perfect. Thank you, Chandler.
Great.
I like that in Prince EA's thing. He says, like, yes, math is important, but not more important than art or dance.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, what is happening to our school system? Well, like, specifically ours, like, our school district is going really bad.
It's crazy.
Just
You
losing
know?
the arts.
So, yeah, we're cutting choir next year. So this is the last year that choir. And they barely found a teacher for drama for next year.
Mm-hmm.
This year, we got stuck with a certain teacher. But, I mean, you know, we pushed through, and that's what we had to do. I mean, luckily, drama's still going, and we're going to have that. But are we still going to have guitar next year?
Yes.
Okay, so we're having guitar and drama next year.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, last year they cut,
Art,
yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? Why? Why
it's
would
sad, you know?
Yeah.
And our school district can't afford to keep all these programs, and it's not always their fault.
Yeah.
You know, it's really the state's fault for not giving us enough money in the first place to be able. They support Common Core, and that's all the state supports is because they think it works.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all you need. They only support what they think you need, which is math and English. That's why you have to take assessment tests for college, because that's what they think that's all you need to know.
Like, math is important for those who want to be mathematicians, engineers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Art is important for those who want to be artists or musicians.
And truly, art is important to everybody because you exercise a different part of your brain.
Or writers.
And see, you guys were, I don't know if you guys or Salter ever told you this, but I mean, he at some point this year, he said that societies have never evolved without three things, like math, science, and arts. Like, those are the three things that no society has ever advanced without, you know?
Yeah.
Like, to advance in society, you need math, science, and arts. Key point being arts, you know, because we're losing more and more of that all the time. Like, left and right, it's just leaving. And it's like, why? You know?
And, like, people have been put into this, like, under this veil, like, our government and, like, the people that are just being ignorant, they're not in school, you know, are being put under this veil that we're advancing as just the U.S., you know? They're, like, wanting to block off immigration. They're wanting to do all this stuff. But, one, our society is based upon immigration. Yeah. None of us are naturally here. Yeah. You know?
Unless you're Native American.
Yeah, Native American.
Unless you're Native American, you're naturally here.
Other than them.
Yeah. And having all those people coming over, like, we have had booms of different, like, of ideas and advancing our knowledge in space, in the ocean, in just innovation in general, because of immigration, because of great minds coming together to collaborate and to be able to advance our society into a great new beginning of understanding. We get to know little by little each day. We begin to just not know everything. We'd never have known everything.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing not to know everything, because that means you can find things to figure out.
Yeah. Like the feeling of discovering something new.
Yeah.
Is like such a wonderful just feeling within itself.
And that is only caused by advancing your creativity and imagination.
Yeah.
You can, using math, and this is the way I look at it too. By knowing math, you can have the knowledge of math to advance your creativity. For instance, if you made a hypothesis in science, those hypotheses are not just going to be hypotheses?
Hypotheses?
Yes. Are not going to be out of just calculations. I mean, they're out of calculations, but to be able to have the curiosity to figure these things out is based on your creativity and your ability to imagine.
Yeah.
Are you Prince EA? You had quite the rhythm.
Yeah, it was going really well. Yeah,
I didn't mean to. I guess it's just this lyricist thing.
And see, like, the main reason, like, why, like, I've always just loved, like, imagination and creativity just in general, and that's why I love, like, Lego Worlds and Minecraft, because you literally
make them whatever.
Exactly, you build whatever the heck you want, and, like, I love it so much. Like, that's why I still love, you know, playing with Legos, because I mean, it's great. Sure, I buy sets, but sometimes I break them apart and build whatever because that's fun.
Yeah, like you send us stuff all the time. Like you made us.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I was just like, well, there's my friends and they're cool, so here you go. I made you guys.
Yeah.
And I made Blind Wave the other day.
Yeah,
that's cool. Blind Wave is a YouTube channel that's out there that's really cool. So
yeah.
Yeah, and I love Legos, you know? I used to play with Legos all the time. We would love to make claymations.
We did a lot.
Which I bet, I mean, you guys know what claymations are, but we'll describe. Basically is, well, some people don't. A lot of people don't.
I mean, we didn't do clay. Oh, I guess you guys did, but
we had a little bit of clay in there.
No, but that's what it's called.
It's stop motion.
No, stop motion is what with Legos.
Well, it used to be called claymation.
Well, claymation is just when you're using clay.
Yeah,
is it?
It's like Wallace and Gromit. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just. Anyway, I thought it was just in general. No. But stop. Okay. Anyways, so that's kind of self-explanatory then.
Yeah. Stop motion. Yeah.
Claymation itself is clay.
Yeah.
But stop motion.
Take a picture. It's cartoons.
Take a picture. Take a picture. Take a picture.
Yeah.
Take a picture.
I mean, it's film.
Yeah,
But just done a lot slower.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we did that all the time. Like we would buy Legos as being just brands that we would buy, you know.
Yeah.
Which would have creativity of themselves, but we would create our own kind of creativity through that of using like our own movies. We would make our own plots.
Make our own storylines. Make our own just situations.
And I feel like that was the birth of Lincoln almost. Which Lincoln.
Yeah, you're right.
We probably have. I think we've told you guys about
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
That's
what this is. Yeah, this is part of.
Lincoln, we'll just describe it real fast. Lincoln stands for Love All New Creativity, Originate Nonetheless, and is a entertainment company we are creating.
We are creating, yeah.
We are in the process of it. We've already had meetings that we've recorded and such, and we have a giant wall that's outside, or not outside, but outside of this room that's just covered with Post-its dedicated to it.
Just the LU, the Lincoln Universe.
Mm-hmm. Which is like we want to make films, we want to have Lincoln records for music, you know.
I haven't had an epiphany.
What's up, Ivan?
We have gone astray.
Very.
Well, no, but like...
No, yeah.
Not too far.
Not too far. We're in general, we're talking about creativity and stuff, which
True.
is what...
No.
But...
Yeah, no. No, the reason why I went astray somewhat, because I had to explain myself. I can't just be like, it's like Lincoln, period.
You know, that thing.
Yeah, that thing you have no clue what it is, you know? I just wanted to be able to explain that we have aspired by our own creativity, that not aspired by school, by the math and science.
Yeah, it's when we were out of school, just by ourselves
when
or
we were
together.
able to use our minds in our weirdness, labeled as weirdness to the schools, to create something beautiful that we aim to make
and entertain people with.
There's nothing wrong with weirdness.
No. You know, and there's not. And I think
there's nothing wrong with, autism or whatever.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being OCD or being ADHD.
It's just a party.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or being chromesthesic. You don't know what that is, but I am that. which is kind of weird because technically it's a form of autism, but it's not. I don't know. It's really strange, and
it's hard to classify.
It's weird to think about because that means I kind of have autism, but it's like, but why is that bad?
Yeah,
you know,
there's nothing wrong with being selenophobic.
Yeah,
which I don't think any of us are. That's the fear of the moon.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Chromesthesic is basically sound to color ratio. Like if you hear a beat, it could be like red, or vice versa.
Yeah. Or if you see the color red, you think of a certain beat.
Yeah, or like or like a tempo, not tempo. Yeah, like a tone. Yeah, that's me. Sorry.
Just like there's nothing wrong with knowing random facts about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Pluto things that are there.
Yeah, the surface area of Pluto is 6,427,806 square miles.
It's funny because it's true.
Okay. Yeah. I think with that,
talk about that later.
Okay.
At a different time.
Let's flip to that page.
The next episode.
Yeah, on the next.
Yeah.
When we talk about
Pluto,
the square mileage of Pluto.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be on the next because the next one.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The next one we will be doing. Well, I'm not gonna say because spoilers.
Spoilers, yeah.
Unless we decide to do one in between then and now.
Yeah,
that's true. We could. I mean, we could do it. We could,
yeah.
If we decide to just record.
Should we do one about Pluto?
I guess.
That'd be
I
kind of
mean,
cool. I think about space in general.
Yeah.
Space.
but
Okay.
mostly Pluto. 'Cause
Guardians.
He
We just
deserves
do a
it.
Guardians review and then branch off that.
I would actually love that.
Yeah. So, on to our next article, which is called Philosophy, spelled with an E at the end.
What? It's
It's
not
philosoph. dude.
It's philosoph.
Well, I've been reading it wrong the whole time. Hey.
philosophy with an E at the end.
Yep. I'm sorry.
the S at the end of it.
I'm sorry. I'm an idiot sometimes, like half the time.
We forgive you.
Nothing wrong with being an idiot.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Creativity in schools?
All right. So, say what? Say it again.
Philosoph.
Philosoph. That's a fun one. All right.
It's getting hot in this room.
It sure is.
Yep. Okay. So, you guys have read this. You guys
Yes.
can describe
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
This story is really like something.
Yeah.
It starts out with this, as I recall, it starts out with this boy who has a feminine kind of walk that he's strutting at. He's strutting down the road, right? Like across a bridge every day.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think some like boys and start noticing him just
doing this feminine kind of walk.
and it gets so bad that the boys confront him and want to fight him because of it, and they end up killing the boy.
Ivan, is this why you got that song stuck in my head?
What?
The Bee Gees song?
What? That was completely off topic, dude.
You can tell by the way.
Yeah, that's exactly
Oh, man.
seriously, that's exactly what I was thinking, and I was
like, that's completely off topic.
It's really not.
no,
Like,
that's
that's
completely on top.
That's
sense.
the connection that I made,
Yeah.
and I was like, God,
You could
I'm a
tell by the
terrible person.
way
I use
my
the
walk.
walk.
move my
I'm
walk.
a woman's man. Knows how to talk.
Yeah, and then
Except
he didn't stay
he
alive.
walked with a feminist walk, not a masculine
a
walk.
feminist walk.
Feminist.
Yeah, which is
walk.
dumb.
He's a very feminist person. He
Yeah.
walks in such a feminist way.
But anyway,
But he ends up dying, and it's sad, you know?
In case you didn't realize, it's feminine, the word you were looking for.
Yeah,
What'd I say?
You said
feminist.
feminist.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. That's a completely different
yeah.
thing.
But anyway, I mean, yeah,
Not really,
these
but-
three boys ended up killing the guy, who it's pretty. It's hinted at that he's gay, basically.
But
like,
still,
yeah, like
Yeah.
they kill him basically for his walk.
Yeah, because he walks differently than most
Yeah,
people.
and then here it says, so then we have to ask, why would someone be killed for the way they walk? You know, and then why would the walk be so upsetting to those other boys that they would feel that they must negate this person? They must expunge the trace of this person. They must stop that walk no matter what. They must eradicate the possibility of that person ever walking again.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, it's sad, you know. This was obvious. Like, our society has evolved into something that's more accepting of these people, but it's still not. You know, it still has a way to go. It still has a ways.
Yeah, this was published in 2007.
But that story's not from 2007.
No, it's from before that. But
Yeah.
That's just when it was put on YouTube.
Yeah. And that was weird when you looked it up because YouTube's 10 years old.
Yeah.
More, 12.
No, it's 12
Yeah,
years
12
old.
years
Yeah.
But that video is 10 years old. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But through this boy was killed because he was different. He was... It's same with our school systems, you know, relating back to that.
Mm-hmm.
People are excluded. They rebel. And they rebel because they are pushed away, excluded, because they are different.
Yeah. It's like, why is diversity or different? Nope, never mind. I'm not going to continue with that. Why is it so frowned upon, you know?
You know?
Yeah.
And
Like, it's stupid.
truly, the people who are pushed away and excluded in the school system, they are killed in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to wrap it all around. You ready for this?
Oh, God.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
The school system kills their creativity. And so the only way to avoid that is by living with the tyrannies you swallow day by day and attempt to make your own till you will sicken and die of them still in silence.
I couldn't have said it any better myself. What a mind you have, Hunter.
Oh, what a mind.
Oh, woe is he. Okay.
What was me?
Now,
What was me? What was he? I was talking third person.
so basically, what this one says to
Makes
what
sense
this
to myself.
article says to tie it up is, so the last paragraph just says, and if someone says you must comply with the norm of masculinity, otherwise you will die, or I will kill you now because you do not comply, then we have to start to question what the relation is between complying with gender and a word that I can't pronounce again.
Coercion?
Coercion?
I don't know. I can't see it.
The first time I read it,
Coercion.
I saw it as co-erosion. I'm like,
Nope.
That's
Coercion.
That's
I would
coercion.
say coercion.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Coercion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, that's kind of just saying like,
If our society is so screwed up that, or at least it was at some point.
it still
It's
is. You know?
It still is,
screwed
yeah.
up.
It's we haven't come to a place where it's great.
The fact that being different is it's frowned upon in this society is something that is just completely irrational.
Deeply troubling.
Yes.
You know? And it's not even just in our school system or the way that we have judged our peers, but it's also just in the society in general.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at, I'll bring politics back into this. People just look at the one side. They look, and also what will support them right now.
Mm-hmm.
They don't look at the big picture. For instance, trying to cut money in schools. They don't look at the big picture that the future is the schools, the kids in the schools. And by cutting that, of cutting drama and cutting arts and cutting all those things and just having straight Common Core, they don't realize that that's not going to help us in the long run,
Mm-hmm. We need diversity. We need creativity.
You can actually relate the thing with the school to food, I guess, in like a balanced diet.
Oh, for like school food?
No,
No.
Relating the subjects that you should learn in school to the food that you should eat. You can't have purely proteins or purely dairy, purely vegetables, something that's good for you. You have to have a little bit of sugar and the other things.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have all of one thing. You can't have all math.
Mm-hmm.
You have to throw art in there.
Yeah, you can't have all broccoli. You got to have some.
Yeah, and then there's ignorant people that think they could just cut things. Like, for instance,
some Kool-Aid. There you go.
Can't have all broccoli. Gotta have some Kool-Aid.
But there are ignorant people, like, for instance, who don't do their research. Ignorant being our government, for instance, or people who don't look at the big picture. In diets, they think that, for me to be able to lose weight, I just got to stop eating food. No.
Let me tell you, that's where you're wrong, kiddo.
Just the opposite. You cut back on some of it, but not everything, not just one thing. Like the things when they say like no carb diets or any of that kind of stuff, it's not good for you.
Yeah.
It's not good to just like have detoxing, which is completely.
Sorry.
What?
You burped, right?
Yeah.
You burped.
I didn't mean to. But detoxing, that one thing, like, that's completely false. Like, that's your body detoxes. Like, that's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
When something says detoxing, it's just trying to trick the public into making that. Anyways,
Yeah.
But that could go back to our government just looking at something and being like, well, if we cut what we think we need, which is protein, and cut everything, or not cut what we think we need. Let me rephrase that. Cut only what we don't need, which is thinking like carbs we don't need fibers, just have protein, that will be all good. But no.
You can't survive on just protein.
Exactly. And you can't just survive on carbs,
And you can't just survive on English and math.
Yep.
Exactly. And
So then we're just going to become robots. And no one wants to be a robot.
I bet there's some people out there that want to be a robot.
yeah. Even
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, I'm just like thinking back right now of people who have advanced in our society and have flourished in their creativity to become something outside of the school of just wanting these factory-based schools, For instance, like Walt Disney, He came up with Mickey Mouse, all the characters, I almost said Daffy Duck.
Nope.
But that's not I didn't mean that.
Warner Bros. Looney
Yeah,
Tunes.
yeah. Anyways, he came up with all that stuff because I've done research on him. He came up with all that stuff at his farm. Like, he would name his animals there. And he was just having fun, you know? Expressing his imagination, creativity again. And
Created a
that
universe on a farm.
that has become a $1 billion company that he's formulated. You know? And it's just beautiful.
Yep.
Basically, it comes to show that
You can't go on with just math and science.
yeah, and you can't
English.
judge people for being different. You know, that's the real point of all.
You
of
know
this.
what? To once again quote Tyler Joseph, anyone from anywhere can do anything.
Well, there you go.
Period.
Straight.
You can create a universe on a farm.
Yeah, and I think
You should just love all new creativity and originate nonetheless.
Hey,
exactly. Lincoln.
nice little plug there.
Thanks.
Like us.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
Just
like us in
wherever
your mind.
likes are accepted.
Well, you know what? I mean, you're listening to this, so
You probably like us.
yeah, this is episode 2. So
You must have liked the first
Yeah.
one.
speaking, so
Well, anyway, thanks for listening.
yeah, thank you. This has been a great talk. Thanks
Yeah.
for being here, guys. And
No, thank you for being here.
Yeah, if you weren't here, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
Because that would be weird.
that'd be weird.
that
We're
would
not
be-
just gonna bring
we're
you to your
at my
house.
house, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah, we have our own private screaming room.
Yeah, it's pretty nice actually. It was really cheap to make too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So thank you for listening to the Second Thoughts. Catch you next time.
Catch you on the flippity flop.
Yeah. So I've been Hunter, your host.
And I've been Ramos, your host.
And I've been Chandler.
Stay hungry. Stay foolish.
Bye.
Bye bye.